Stone Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, little middleweight news, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Demetrius Andrade, WBO champion, right? Probably one of the most avoided, if not the most avoided fighter in boxing, right? Uh, Says right now, I'll get with your boy Derevyanchenko, right? If they ask for it. I'll get with Derevyanchenko. He said he'd love to have that fight. Right? That's pretty good because Derevyanchenko is coming off two fights with Daniel Jacobs, close fight, which he lost, and Gennady Golovkin, which many people thought he even beat Golovkin. So Derevyanchenko is still a name. He's getting a lot of title shots. Those are two we just mentioned, plus he would be getting another one. But Demetrius Andrade is even open to that, seeing as though, the Canelos of the world won't get with him, right? The Gennady Golovkins of the world won't get with him, even though both were mandated to fight, right? Or not mandated, but could have fight. Canelo could have fought Demetrius Andrade for undisputed. Didn't want to do that on the Mexican holiday last year. Gennady Golovkin was mandated to fight. No, he could have fought your boy Andrade, but he just didn't. He wasn't mandated. He mandated. I'm getting mixed up with Charlo there, but he could have fought him on several occasions and won't. And Andrade's been trying to get those fights for the longest. It just won't get mentioned ever, right? Not to mention, you think about it. His mandatory is Jaime Munguia, moving up from 154. That's his mandatory. He's not saying nothing. He got to fight Leon Williams because Munguia don't want to fight him. Mandatory is not wanting to get this title shot. That's huge. But then you heard Munguia just a day ago saying, hey, but I'll fight Canelo, right? You can say, oh, it's just the money or whatever, but hey, you would have had a title, right? Title shot right away. Canelo's, I don't know if you're going to be able to get that. But it's just the point. There's another one. Ain't nobody in a rush to fight your boy, Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is always the one who has been, had a title since 2013, pretty much on and off. He never lost it, right? Got stripped of it. And then after that, Canelo fought. We know how long. This is a long dude has been champ for a minute, right? Been trying to get these fights. And people would always say, who has he fought? None of these people stepping up to fight him either. And you don't have an instance where he's saying he doesn't want to fight him. Look who he's mentioned. Look who he's, Canelo, no. Gennady Golovkin, no. Jaime Munguia, my mandatory, no. Right? And now Sergey Derevyanchenko, if that's what I can get, I'll take that. Right? We obviously know he wants to fight Charlo too. Right? That's just a fight I don't want to see until something else happens first. But I've documented that. Right? But everybody who's good, he's linked to wanting to fight them, and he always has been. There's nothing different. So yeah, the Derevyanchenko fight sounds pretty good. I just think that pound for pound list. I think the boxers, especially boxing champions, should make their own pound for pound list. That's what I think. I think they should make their own pound for pound list. Everybody else got one. ESPN got one. Fox I think got one. Ring Magazine got one. WBM got one. Everybody got one. Box Rec got one. People coming out with their pound for pound list. Boxing champions should do that. I think they would put a dent in the biases that happen in those lists, and people would have to, they would have to explain what's up. And just the champions, we got about 17 divisions and 4 champions in each of them. That's enough people on the panel, ain't it? Right? When you put former champions in with them, then you got about 50 dudes. And then you could do it like that. People of the last champs of, say, the last 5 years or so they can be up until what's going on now in the boxing community, who the best boxers are in different weight classes. I think you'll have a different kind of list there. Because this Demetrius Andrade I keep talking about, he would be on there. There's a lot of significant people in boxing that understand this is one of the best fighters in boxing. And then they just have to say, well, he can't get these fights, he can't do this. One guy wrote talking about, hey, he should actively call out Canelo. What's more actively than I have a title that somebody should want? I've been having this since 2013. I've been calling you out since I'm an infant. I'm calling you out now. I was the key to the undisputed. Right? I speak English, so we wouldn't have a fight running up. Do you remember Canelo and Kovalev? The build up, the whole thing had subtitles. We had to watch a whole build up with subtitles. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be necessary with Andrade. Somebody who can speak the language. They don't have to read what he's talking about. Right? It's another thing. Got all that and been calling you out actively. Actively is what happens to people when they are actively calling you out. Yeah, they will get banned from your press conferences. That's what happens to actively. So I don't think Demetrius Andrade has to get more actively than that and mess around and be in jail somewhere. You would be termed a stalker at that point. So now everybody knows it. So it's nothing else that the man can do in terms of trying to get Canelo being undisputed. That was it, right? Being calling you out. Matter of fact, at 154, if even calling you a bitch, everybody knows about that. So that's pretty much as active as you can get as a boxer, plus being undefeated and very, very, very damn good. Um, ain't nothing too much more you can do at that point. Our thing is to recognize what the dude is doing. So I think boxers should get their own pound list. It'll be, people like an Andre will probably be in there, and that would force a different type of narrative and force people to say, hey, somebody better fight this guy because he's number 3 pound for pound amongst the boxers, right? That would carry a little weight, probably get a little some of these fights done because when you keep a guy like Demetrius Andrade with this talent in obscurity, then if it's gonna mess with your money, you probably will try to keep him in obscurity. So that would probably help in that sense. Let's see what happens going forward. Demetrius Andrade versus Derevyanchenko, not a bad fight since we can't get the very, very, very big ones, which the ones I want, but whatever. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.